Hello everyone, it's Tin Man here. Yeah, I just decided, why not? Why not do another live? I have I'm kind of in a spot where I'm not getting out much. Have my reasons. They're good reasons. So I thought, why not kind of talk about what we're talking about? Bigfoot Memphis, how is it going? What's up, Tin? How's it going, brother? How's your life going, man? Staying out of trouble, and are you having good results out there in the field? I'm going to give myself some headspace here. I'm feeling I need to get some air around me. There we go. It is. It is great. That's awesome. Awesome. Hey, Josh. What's up, brother? Yowie down under in WA. Not NWA. But, yeah. So, Josh, I was just thinking, wait until maybe a couple more people show or something. I hope I'm going to be okay. It's kind of jumping into, hey, Michelle, how's it going, man? Michelle, what's up, brother? Yeah, I haven't really gone on a subject or anything, so let's just go with this for now. Where are you at this time, bro? Which town? I'm back in my mission here. The truth is, I'm pretty strapped for finances, so my trek back kind of drained me pretty good. So I kind of got to now balance it out till the end of the month and make sure I don't make a mistake. So I really can't get into too much gas expenditures. Not to say that there's no reason why I can't do something right there, to tell you the God's honest truth. But like I say, I got other interests too. And I'm enjoying learning, and part of how I'm enjoying learning actually is I've been going into some of my videos, and I tell you guys, I tell you, man, it's incredible the stuff that I very likely, very soon, is what I'm working towards, getting a lot of that stuff out also. I personally feel that if I went out there right now, I could get too lost in all that work, and the work that's already been done needs a bunch of critiquing. It needs to be able to get out to you guys. Every time I get a little bit into something, many handfuls of you people are going, yeah, okay, yeah, Tin Man, we see exactly or hear exactly now, and stuff like that. And there's tons of that kind of stuff. Like my first guy that I believe is what I represented to, or it represented to my eyes and my knowledge, was the representation that's always been in my mind ever since I was a little kid. Like I said, I grew up in out in the Fraser Valley a lot and stuff. And up in Harrison Hot Springs, where we would go lots of times, it's kind of Sasquatch country. We'd go past the Sasquatch Inn, there's statues around, all this kind of stuff. So the picture that I always had for them in my mind came true, not on my 13th day with my first experience, or my 15th day on my second experience, or my 19th day on my third experience. It was, I don't know, I'm going to just throw out the number of 7 months later or whatever, when I got this experience, and he is the one that, or she, that gives me an idea of, that's a Sasquatch. You see the head, it's all like this. You see this big, you see hair to here, and then you see what looks like a pretty big brow here. You see just good size eye pockets, a decent size nose. You mostly are picking up the blackness of the nose here, the nasal part of it, mouth. And I can't remember if you get to see white here or not. He is doing a trickster, where I call it, where he's got his finger in front of his mouth like that. There's other ones around hiding better than he is, and he's just choosing to do this in between two trees like that. And some of you might be able to see him, some of you might get it and stuff like that. But that's part of what my work I want to do, is I actually want to have that real small clip. I want to have it as in best quality brought forward to you. And it's not just that about that one. What is going to be pretty remarkable, an additional thing, for those that have good eyes, you're going to see probably over a dozen well into this once I describe it to you and stuff. No problem. Because of a trickster act they do, and that's mostly what you're relying on, is one of their tricks, which I call, what do I call? Just, when they're just faking glasses, when they're, to us, I refer to it like they're wearing glasses. They're just faking us out with fake glasses. But to them, they're not faking this out with glasses. They're not thinking on a level like that. What they're thinking on is a level of what they're used to looking through. So you won't always necessarily get this. You might get this. You might get different things, because where they're actually coming up with this, I've actually seen where I believe that this is actually being turned into the gap like that, where the fingers are bending this way. On one of the pictures, I believe that's how there we go, I'm doing it a bit. And that has to do with the placement of some of the other fingers. But I didn't realize I could do it that good. So, there we go. One of them, I believe, below, the big guy, doing just this. And this color connects this well to this color on my hand here. And this one doesn't connect. And many people who look at the picture that I show, or in the video, they realize they themselves connect this, whatever this is, from this angle. I always do it. Color, they really do connect it with those other ones that I'm seeing with the finger glasses. There we go, finger glasses. Anyway, so they're not to do with our glasses. It's not a relation, how I'm understanding it. It has to do with what they're looking through, all that brush and stuff. And I am here in Mission, BC, having some awesome results. Nice. That's Bigfoot Memphis saying a subscriber sent me a package. New machete. Nice. A knife and a compass watch. Other items as well. Man, he was a lucky guy, eh? How much you need, mate? I'll help you out. Oh, there we go. I know. I hear you. I appreciate that, brother. Hey guys, that's Mid-South Sasquatch. Hey, how's it going, Mid-South? And there we go, Yowie Down Under saying he's subbing ya. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. So, back at ya, Yowie. So, yeah, Clue, hey, how's it going? Back out. Hello there, I'm glad I didn't miss you. Perfect. You're great. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you're from the Mid-South, so that's kind of easy to... Is it easy for me to figure out? Not really. Oh, yeah. Is that going to just, what I just say, Oregon? Or is it going to be down from Oregon, Mid-South? What is Mid-South? No. South. Yeah, I don't know, because to me, I don't know, that could represent down in Florida. You're a fan and great videos. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was just thinking maybe I should come up with a topic or something. I'm a fan. Great videos. Oh, already read that. So, does anybody have a subject or anything, or should I talk about a video? Does anybody want to talk about anything that they learned on the last video there? I had quite a few views, and a number of people, you could tell, probably listened to quite a bit of it, because it was a pretty good conversation. Well, okay, so Michelle's saying, Tin Man, why do you think they hide? Why don't they come and communicate? Well, in some respects, I'm wondering if that could be a guard that's being let down, and a lot of people are starting to so many of us are starting to recognize them. It could be like Josh said the other day or something, that the VW bug kind of thing. You buy one and then you see everybody else driving them. Could be an influence of that. Could be an influence that we're all stimulated to go look. Maybe Patterson and all those guys just weren't as good as us at looking. Maybe we've learned how to look into the bush better and further. That's one thing I advise people to practice. Park outside the bush. Don't go inside the bush. And just sit there and look inside the bush. So when your wife's in getting the groceries, you're sitting out there and you can be practicing and training. So you look at the beginning of the bush. That's almost where we stop. Look in a little bit. Look around. That's all we do. That's what we're mostly trained. It's actually really hard to start looking further. Right now I'm looking at a store. Or I'm in at a doctor's office, and I can really do the same thing. I can look at the wall there, then I can look at that plant that's a little deeper in, then I can look at the light that's deeper in. And even on that, but even though there's not much camouflage, it's the same breakdown that we need to remember when we're looking into the bush. And what will happen, you'll actually become naturally better at that, I believe. And so as them not coming out, it might be happening, I'm not too sure. Maybe they're afraid of us, maybe they're afraid how we'll behave. Maybe they don't realize they're getting as busted as they are getting busted, because not necessarily everybody's going, hey, look, and running around and trying to chase them all over the place. We kind of just see what we see and then walk away or something. I'm hopeful that they will come out to see us and not be scary. Think outside the bush. I don't know if I'm hopeful that they will come out. That's the thing. It might be better how they're staying, and they can keep, because it could be a long learning curve for them. And maybe our learning curve is just going to be knowing that we have these people that live in the forest, or these beings, I should say, living in the forest, and we know this much. How did you do that, brother? Thank you so much, man. I think I'm understanding what just went on there. That's a big surprise. So was that through my own channel? Because I know I did sign up for that thing, but I just never opened it. Or is that just somehow because we're both members and you're able to do that? Josh. Thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate that very much. No more excuses. Okay, I'm hopeful that they'll come out of the bush. Mid-South is saying we learn how learn how to spot them. Go out there before dawn. Sit still in one place and just watch. Yeah, eh? Yeah, I hear you. Yep. I hear you, Josh. So, yeah, so you're looking down upon them, I'm gonna guess, Mid-South? And, maybe at times seeing them in mist, low-lying fog, or, like, what kind of a look are you looking at? Josh, I think you're going to have me smiling all night now, man. It's your fault. Thank you very much for the thumbs, guys. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, eh? Mid-South is saying every chance I get down by the Mississippi bottoms. Well, you know, I've been working out and learning a large impression of these beings over, I don't know to say tens of thousands of square miles, or if I can say hundreds of thousands of square miles. I might be able to say hundreds of thousands of square miles. I've actually done a certain amount of coverage how I covered. In a grid sort of a pattern, I guess. Different highways, basically. Can only get so far in certain things. And, yeah, so now I'm coming to this point now where I'm around the Fraser Valley here, and I'm trying to say that I'm going to see if I can figure something that out off of our Fraser Valley River. But they're so tricky. They're so tricky for me to be able to sneak up behind them around here. They have so many scout situations. You know, probably pocket clans all over the place. I go to places where, that's how I could call it, kind of like pocket clans. Unless the clans are actually kind of ginormous, but you're just kind of finding pockets of them. Yeah. The Mississippi, that must be really nice, especially down by the bottoms and such. Must be a lot of turbulence and all that. Anyone can send you money, bud, from this comment and chat section. Oh, use that. I appreciate that, Josh. I said I needed gas, and you did it. Thank you very much. Now I just have to figure out how to retrieve it. Off the Mississippi River. Maybe you can give me a hint on that. Off the Mississippi, so Mid-South is saying off the Mississippi River, which is a big interstate travel route by them. Yeah, and that's the same thing. Well, the river itself is the highway. Obviously, it's a lot easier for them to come down the river than go up the river. But, you know, if they have to accomplish ground by swimming, then there's not an issue. And I wouldn't doubt it if there's, even when it comes to pretty harsh conditions, there's not much of an issue for them in water. That's what I'm... You know, that's just some that's just insight thought, mostly, I would say, you know. Eventually we really get into really being able to prove that. But I've had guys throwing back where I've been on this side of the river. Our Fraser River goes by here, and it's a water, sort of maybe one of those control canals, you know, so it comes out, it's up in the river up high here, and then it comes all around, and it's a nice level plateau for the river through there. And it's a way of just having it, you know, whatever, different controlling way, and you get a big volume of water in there and stuff. It's kind of like a slough, maybe you could even call it, but it doesn't become really much slough condition in this area. Anyways, it's pretty wide. You know, it's... You know, out into the middle of the road back there, let's say, something like that. And I ended up, the very first time... believing, if I'm recalling this properly, the very first time it happened, the being started the contest, the fun, and it happened somewhere around 7 or 8 throws that they did in conjunction with my throws, but I was only suspecting one. But I think it was that one. I'm not sure on this part, but on one of the times that I did do it, because I ended up doing it a few times, and I probably had a total of 12 or 15 times that they've thrown now for me, but that in particular time was the most. And one of the times, anyways, I was pretty sure that they swam across, they somehow got across and through from this side also. So whether that was somebody else with them, a teammate or something like that, but I was almost getting the impression it was this guy somehow made it over there. And I don't know about the night, how the night was or anything like that, if I was able to see ripples very well, you know, throughout and stuff. But I'm one of those guys who's keen for a lot of things. Not a lot of things can get past me now. So if that guy ever actually got across, I was pretty clueless how he would have successfully done it without making any kind of water ripple. I think, you know, I didn't videotape that one. I made a videotape about it the day after or whatever. I didn't, when it was all going down, I had made the mistake, or you know, maybe if I turned on my camera, it would have stopped, right? But I didn't have the camera there, and it was my first experience with them doing it, so. And to me, that's fabulous. What I basically have on the other side is a lot of stumps sitting all over on the other side there that the farmer obviously has from his field way back there in a corner where, you know, the truck from the house or the road from up there to there is not at all a nice trek. It would be a very mucky and long trek, and nobody hangs out there. Not a person ever goes out there to hang out and make that their beach. I've never seen anybody hanging out there and fishing that far up that inlet there or anything like that, because the hike to get in there is just a long ways. So for some person to have actually fooled me and then also done it in multiple settings, like, I'm not too sure, but let's say somewhere around 5 different times is the period of those 12 to 15 different throws. And yes, some of them are on video then, so what they're called or whatever, you know, we'd be able to figure it out if we looked. So, yes. Okay, Clue is saying, I do have evidence that they have been here, nice, down by the river, and it's just outside of town. Right on. I found structure. I worry that the wrong people might find out. Yeah, I've worried about that a lot, but now I'm to the point where we have to try to get the right people to find out. We have to be, and you know, we're claiming that we're becoming more and more humane, right? If we act like animals against these guys, who knows their capabilities? Maybe they just go into hiding again. You know, maybe they're, you know, there's lots of maybes, there's lots of ifs. You got to understand where the science really does have to come from. And you know, if you really study into trees and you start studying into the earth and stuff like that, and you kind of follow what I'm talking about, how they interact with the matter of earth, even where it comes into some of our stuff that we influence the matter of earth, like we make our concrete and so on and so forth. What was I saying there? But yeah, I just don't see. There's nothing in any science that talks about, or any, you know, can anybody find anything on mysterious, I don't know the proper word, but mysterious scientific understandings of trees, mysterious understanding of, or non-understanding of rock fracking, or, you know, a like, what are they thinking about why things just keep tumbling in so many different cases? Like, we just keep thinking that the earth is somehow shifting or something like that, and I kid you guys not, this is part of, I don't know if it's part of their job, but we are being fooled from it. And you can see on my channel, there's a number of places that, like that 50-year-old wall, you can punch in the 50-year-old wall, and I'm about to do an update to it, film it, just kind of waiting on that right day. And it is collapsing. It has gotten worse. And this is 2 months. I was gone for 2 months, and I was predicting this, and I was not just predicting it. I'm showing one in particular spot, and I'm saying, you guys, this is the spot they're first starting on, and that spot, it's kind of weird, but big rocks have just shifted out like this, because that's what they do with our walls and stuff. They'll just shift rocks out, shovel some dirt out, shift some rocks and stuff. They don't necessarily always leave messes down here. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Look at the rocks. Sometimes they're just chipped at. So we're talking about old rocks and stuff, walls, right? And this one, they're doing a lot of belly sagging. So they're not working at the bottom, because that's where lots of times I have found they do, is they work at the bottom. And so it's almost like they're more just giving an impression of moving the whole bank out in a way like this. But here, because there's a side rock directly right here on it, I would imagine, or I'm just now imagining, well, that's maybe why they seem to do the belly. So they're working on the belly of this thing, and they're just working the rocks in a way where it looks like it's having a swollen effect to it. But, you know, we have video that I've been saying this is an issue. And then I say, look at this 50-year-old wall. And now we're going to be able to really, and I think that in particular, the worst corner I'm seeing, that kind of really popped out. And I'm going to throw in there, I think at one of the people's entrance where they go up, I think they might have just, that corner of their wall, I think they've just done a harsh, I haven't looked at the video at all, so I'm just really keeping it all, doing it from all memory right here. But that corner, I believe, they've really gone and mucked it up, and I think that one's going to stand out really well. And the part of the reason when I drove by one day, I thought to myself, or in an evening, I thought to myself, there's an easy reason, is because it's so black in there at night. They're just sitting in a box like this. They're sitting down on the stairs. This is the retaining wall, right? So pick, you just adjust, ooh, baby, and they'll get carried away. You know how people act, or OCD people act, or whatever, you know. We just get lost in our game, and, you know, that's when they make their mistakes, as they get lost in their game. Somebody might start making some claw marks. I really hope you guys start seeing claw marks. And then look at the claw marks. They can get two different curves. Like when you're cutting like this, you're cutting like that. Now, if you're cutting like this and you're putting a cove in that cut at the same time, you're really doing two techniques at the same time. All of our knives are straight, mostly, when we have them for breads and stuff, right? We got all these nice bread knives, and you're doing kind of one-way cut. If that bread knife was made like this, where it was the blades here, or this whole edge is the blade, and you cut it through, and actually we're cutting out chunks of bread like that, we can kind of say it's one cut, but we understand it as two. We understand that it's actually cutting the slice, it's coving the slice, like that. But anyways, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a cove on this wood that represents this a lot. And that's, you know, this right around what I'm holding here, I believe that's going to be around the claw shape. That's my own feeling, is there's going to be on this radius. I'm not talking about size or anything like that. I don't really have those kind of full out things. It's just from what I've kind of seen out there, right? From the very first major, look like just a slash on a tree like this, that's about that long, right near the base of a tree, and then there's another slashes. And as soon as I seen it, I really had a feeling, you know, this isn't my habitat number one. This is where I started calling everybody mama, because there was one bear claw mark that I seen that now I believe that was probably just fake, and then the claw mark on the tree, you know, so I think it was a bit of an intimidation tactic. You think okay, here, let me catch up here. So, okay, Okay, so Michelle's saying that's why around here you get the log smacks and yells, because those clans are communicating to let each other know that we are around, you're saying. That can be one of the things. But I personally, it depends on how, like, I'm not necessarily registering what the definition of the yell sounds like. We still got to hook up, Michelle. We were talking about that, right? We should hook up for a coffee or something in Tim Hortons or something like that. But so it depends on the type of yell, and also the smacks and stuff. I'd like to know where you're talking about that from there, because I myself, you know, I don't know what I've heard much for smacking on wood around here in my mission area. But further out, past my habitat number 1, that's where I seen the guy where I feel I'm really looking at a Sasquatch. That one, there's constant knocking. So if you remember coming across one of my videos where there's constant knocking, there's a series I think I put up about 3 there. There might be a 4th video up, but anyways, on one of them, I talk about, I think that might be where I use 100% number or something like that in the description of the video. Maybe not, maybe. But he's really quick into it, so you got to read the messages and see that he's just into it by, he's just into it by a couple of, about 5 seconds, you know, within 10 seconds, I think, or something. So that's what does here. Seems like the population is rapidly growing. Mid-South is saying. Nice seeing you too, Clue. Mid-South, I believe in the Planet X theory. What is the Planet X theory? I don't know if I know that. Does that have to do with the X-Files going on right now? The guy's flying out to Jupiter right now? So, what could I say, or what could somebody tell me to say? What could I do, or what could somebody tell me to do? I could try to set up my other computer, I guess, and kind of talk about stuff, or I could just sit and kind of chill and wait until somebody tells me to talk about something. You guys want to see where I'm sitting? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's play a little game. You guys see the picture going on right here? You see this little brown thing? I'm going to give a little wiggle to it. Woo, 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 woo. You see this guy? You must see this. Tell me what that is. And you can have more than one right answer. You can tell me what you think its reason is. And you can tell me what kind of thing it is. Do you think it's something maybe I carved? You know, do you think it's whatever? What it really is. Where it comes from, maybe. That kind of stuff. If I show you too much, you will know for sure. So if you do need me to get to that hint, I will show you more. Everybody's sleeping. Are you trying to figure it out, or is everybody gone right now? Oh, I got 2 people. Do you 2 people, are you watching? Are you playing the game? Just a minute ago I had 12 people. I'm too boring, aren't I? Hey, 10. Hey, Muddy, how's it going? Muddy Sweetie Pie. Looks like an antler. That's very good. I never even thought of that, but it's not an antler. If I were to actually squeeze it, I can indent it and it bounces back. It's pretty thin. It's not very focused there, is it? It can see down, yeah, you can see down on that curve down near the bottom there. You can see kind of the granularness of it a bit, eh? See that better down there? Well, here, let me turn on some light and see if I can get it. That doesn't help. Do you guys want me to give you a little bit better of a view? Looks like we only got 2 people still here, so I'll give you a little bit better of a view. If you haven't seen my sticker, there's my sticker. Do you see them in there? So do you think you know what that is? So like I said, it can be more than one thing, so you can even guess kind of why it's here. I'm not going to say. I'm just going to leave it like that. People can write an answer. So if anybody writes an answer now, then I'll say yes or no. But it won't be shown on the screen, and people can tell an answer at the end. There we go. That'll be fun. And now it's focused in for it, isn't it? So, oh, you guys, I gotta tell this. What do we got going on here? We got Praise Him Forever 777. How's it going? Do you hear Bigfoot making gunshot noises? Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. Thank you for that. You never made me realize that before. You you might have brought me just into something new there. Let me just finish your comment there. They do it all the time here in Omak, Washington. You know what? Thanks for sharing that, because I've actually shared this with a couple of people. And it was 2 or 3 Halloweens back. It ended up being the night before Halloween because I was confused. I was at my house where I was up in the valley there. And I heard approximately what I thought. I think I might have even been outside at the time. And it was in the evening. It was in the dark. And I heard what I thought sounded like a 22. And it was down on the left side. And then all of a sudden, like not too long after, like fairly quick, I'm not going to say it was 5 minutes. It was within maybe a minute or something. I don't remember the times. I just remember trying to measure out the times. But anyways, way up kind of on the up on the road here, kind of up maybe beyond me. Another one. That's like, hey, that's somebody have fireworks? Or I'm thinking, oh, the kids are starting to shoot off fireworks or something. And then all of a sudden another one off into another corner. It was almost like 4 different placements of what really sounded like a 22 caliber. And it never ended up turning into a bunch of fireworks or firecrackers or anything. It was just basically like that. And, oh yeah, and what I even ended up thinking to myself, because it was my first time in that valley for the Halloween time. So I remember even thinking to myself, I wonder if that's some kind of a signal. So the farmers here are going to, I'm sorry for being that naive, but yeah. The Bigfoot tracker actually was that naive where I'm trying to place answers in there, and I place an answer thinking that might be farmers signaling each other. I swear. Yeah. Anyway, so now that you're saying that, because that story actually came up recently, but I still had it as gunshots, and I was still telling it. I was talking to the person that's pretty weird or whatever, and then you go and say that. That's pretty. That's kind of really catches my attention to look at it differently next time out there for sure anyways. Thanks, Prism. Somebody is saying, can you see it, but no idea. Can see it, but no idea. Is it what the old-timer used to climb trees? Oh, yeah, I'm not supposed to be reading that out loud, am I? No, it isn't. Yeah, and it would have nothing to do with that kind of stuff. I can't give it away now. Oh yeah, so if anybody new has come in, we got this going on right here. where you get to see it. I did give a view of it, so you can go back for the scroll back a little bit, a couple of minutes or whatever, probably to like 33 minutes or something, and then bounce back here. But just try to take a guess at what you think that is. I'm not going to show the whole thing again right now, but like I say, there's more than one answer. I'm trying to move it around a little bit so you can zoom in. You can kind of see that bottom part. It might show the granularness of it. I'm not letting you see the whole thing, obviously. I'll push it a little bit further like that, so maybe there we go. And yeah, there's a couple of different things that it actually represents. It represents what it is. It is what it is. Okay? But it's also here for a reason. Kind of more than one reason. It's developed into a second reason. I'll tell you one of the reasons, because when I seen it, it was in one whole part. It was already on its way out, where it was already going to be fading off and wilting away. And to me, just the size of it and all that kind of stuff, it was just too beautiful for me to kind of pass up, because it was close to this state of condition. But now it's just, I'll admit, it's dried up quite a bit into what it looks like, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So if anybody wants to do that, I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun here and make it into a game at the same time. So is there anything that anybody wants to hear? Josh, is there anything, Josh, that you're kind of curious? Hey, Josh, did you go look at my baboon? My baboon, oh yeah, I was going to tell you about that. On one of my videos just recently, you did, eh? So you see the baboon head. What colors do you see in them? I could call them out, but I really want to kind of understand your description, because you're probably typing here too, but also because you're getting the left profile of them, left side profile. Do you see what seems to be his pink ear? Why do I say baboon? Because he looks similar like a female baboon's head. But obviously, or not obviously, but much grander. Like way bigger than a male baboon's head. Probably, I don't really know a male baboon's head, but I can kind of almost get a grasp on it. And I would say, to me, it seems like it could be twice the size of a male baboon's head, but represents a female with the roundness in it on the back, with a snout part, like it's got a forward popping out face, that part. And yeah, color wise, it shows a lot of grayish tones in it, and then also there's black also in it. Those are the two prominent colors. There might be a fair amount of white. I'm not too sure if how much that fades in with the gray, because in all reality he is hiding behind plants and stuff like that, but he doesn't have a full facial cover. If you're on the right one, which I hope you are, it's the fern is kind of doing a peace sign, and he's right behind it. Yeah, I've considered that it may not be a Bigfoot at all, but my first face-to-face, have you also watched that one? That happened, the first face-to-face happened in my, the Valley of the Sasquatch there. This one here was kind of at the top of the Valley of the Sasquatch, and kind of going to, maybe kind of close towards what I call the nesting station, where it looks like you know, they probably enjoy being up in the canopy up there a bit, and the way it's manicured and stuff, and it is manicured much different than the, you know, for instance, the Valley of the Sasquatch. The high up trees in there, they're not manicured near the same as the ones in their sleeping areas. So there's warranted reasons why they get their names. And then so here I am, from that one to that one, there's only, like 6 days apart. And he's part of the clan somehow. So, like a lot, you know, we hear about it different times. A lot, you know, there's a number of people that are thinking that there could be a lot of different looks. And personally, you know, right off the top of the head, I can say I've seen 4 different looks, and I don't know if I'm just kind of, in a way, confused to see them looking different, or they really do look different, and I lean towards that they really do look different. I'm going to imagine that, you know, they're going to all have 2 feet and 2 hands kind of thing, but we'll see. Maybe there's going to be some prominently 4-legged thing going on in there too, or something. I'm not really sure, but it does seem to be there must be a host of them. There must be a family. Like, I talk about a lot of work getting done and stuff, and some of that work that's getting done is it seems like it's got to be done by somebody pretty small. You know, don't know what we're going to figure out. If you go, did you go see, yeah, you probably watched that video then. Yeah, you did. That Rick did the breakdown of my first face-to-face. Well, he did the short version of it. He did that little, you know, the 1 minute version or whatever type thing when it's, I think I might have a little bit different of a name on it. Anyways, here, let me get my window here. So what was I saying there? That he did the breakdown there, and hey Greg, how's it going, bro? I'll catch up with you in a sec. And anyway, so he did the breakdown there, and it's the shorter breakdown, so pretty much immediately I think I'm kind of pointing off into that one direction. And I don't know if you know it from the video, but when I'm coming into realizing in the 2.5 minute video of my first face-to-face, I'm coming from being off trail. I step onto human trail. When I step onto human trail, it kind of makes sense for me and where I was, and it did all that kind of stuff, to really have turned left there. But when I stepped off, right away, the silence, all that, something right from that direction there kind of just pulled me into, here, let me turn this around. Something right there just pulled me into kind of looking that way, whatever it is. And then I walked over to the spot where it was a little bit of a hill like this kind of thing. Like not high at all, like where I'm just kind of walking up a couple of inches, a foot or something. Anyways, so that's where he kind of is bringing the video in. So when I do that, and if you go by his sound illustrations or understandings and readings and all that kind of stuff and grafting, you know, there's a flurry of sound. And like I said to him, there still was sound when I was confronting and I was doing what I was doing and stuff like that. That same sound. But it really flurried when I was there. And lots of times when I've watched that video, I've questioned, you know, what's out there in that part of the video. Is like I've tried pretty hard to be just looking for any big guys, anything to give me an idea, because I almost always kind of in the low lying, and you just watch that area and you just listen to the all of a sudden and try to figure out what you think maybe that sound, what's just going like this, is all about. And if you don't know what video that would be, That is Bigfoot anthropologist. Yeah, I think that's what he calls himself. And yeah, he did a breakdown on my first face-to-face. You got to check it out. Check out his other stuff. He's good. Check out the Yowie Down Under. He's trying to be good. Just bugging you, Josh. I appreciate you so much. I don't know if people know, but Josh was a very nice gentleman to me tonight. Thank you, sir. You haven't considered it maybe not be a Bigfoot at all. So, Tin, this is from Muddy. Do you think there are different species? Yeah, I think that could be part of it, eh? I am of the belief there are smaller chest height yowies as well as the big fellas over here in Australia. I hear you, and yeah, and the thing is, are they going to be different species too, right? Or because it's kind of amazing that if they're different species, how elusive they've all been, and now all of a sudden they're all being less elusive, or a lot of them are being less elusive. So that's a weird thing, I would imagine, in a number of different species. Let's say there was 4 different. I'm sure you're getting me. So you almost feel like, it makes me almost feel like there's got to be something big in a big thing. Hey, Greg, Mr. Horton, how's it going? So you got what's going on, guys? What's up, Tin Man? Not much, just hanging out. Just thought, why not come out? Thanks, I appreciate the thumbs up, guys. The more thumbs up we do, the more YouTube kind of shares you a little bit. They really do gyp us. I don't know if it's us Canadians or what, or if it's not Bigfooters. I go and I look, or a lot of stuff pops up on my thing where, all these guys just telling stories over and different things like this, and they're getting, they're at 7,000, 10,000, 100,000, and I'm sitting there going, thanks for the thumbs, brother. I'm sitting there going, I have my few. I'm not complaining as much as I could be. I mean, I would be if I didn't have those. So I'm complaining less because I have those. I do actually, I am thankful to have those. It's just that at the end of the day, you guys, a lot of you guys, you got to realize that there's a number of us that could probably start clicking into the practicality of the common sense that we're talking about. And it just, I get the honor to be one of the guys that's opening a lot of imaginations, but I ain't the last guy opening an imagination. The imaginations will flow without me, and they will blossom without me. And I'm kidding you not. This is an industry. It is an industry. So find your in however you want to find your in. If you want to get some return from it, if you think, I could do this and get some capital gain and make my life better because of this and that, then really, like even in tree care, like whatever, if it's just being an arborist where you're just on a level of going in, cleaning up people's yards and taking out what they don't want and stuff like that, that will change. There's probably going to be people now that watch different things like this and then turn around and say, clean up my yard. And then there's going to be people that there is the problem, especially around here, man. There's the problem with, our industry has already picked up in the last 2 years. Guaranteed, if I phoned all the arborist companies, if there hasn't been a new one popped up, there's at least every company has brought in new trucks. Guaranteed. Like, it's the business there has just gone And it's probably doubled or something. And this winter here just turned around and has done it again. And we're just sitting here being fooled by it. Not to say that ice can't do damage. Yes, ice can do a lot of damage. But what we have to understand is, what I'm saying is, they're related with dealing with the trees. This ice damage is an over-exaggeration because of whatever. I'm not making all my claims on that. But I think a lot of you guys know out there now that they are weakening trees to a certain extent to do things. To bend it this way, it's got to weaken a certain amount, and all of a sudden a big ice storm comes, and it's going to break easier or whatever type thing, right? So, it doesn't make sense that we have, like the trees here, they got big moss things. I've shown them before here. They got a bunch of over-exaggerated moss life on these trees here. And I wasn't home for this ice storm. But guaranteed, man, I'm seeing... I'll just look at these three right here where I can see them very easily. All three of them are only 10-foot high trees. The ball, the whole thing of them, just twiggy and all that kind of stuff, are 6-foot circles, 8-foot circles, something like that. And they're really covered in moss, and there's no green, there's no anything else. If I went up to them, they might show that they're going to be budding or whatever, but they really do have a weird disease of moss covering on them. And those things would have been harshly affected by this ice, harshly. And look at them. Hopefully you can see those three right there. And if you, I'm going to put up a video of around our, the forest right across here. It's just stripped. And how they really do it is they do a lot of big breaking on this ice storm. They did a lot of, however it worked out, there's a lot of big breaking. But the small breaking is the advantage they really took advantage of. And what that will do is, because in their stimulation thing, we're actually going to be on a higher level of leaves, I believe, this year. I think we'll increase on our leaves again compared to what we did last year. Will we actually be able to measure it? Probably not. We might be able to look at photos and look at different things like this of history, a little bit of stuff to realize, that was heavier probably than this year, or whatever type thing. One of the mountains that I'm keeping an eye on over here, that I want to videotape, he came from Mission. I'm watching it from over there. I've already videotaped a little bit and talked about it. I think that mountain, hopefully I said mountain, I think that whole mountainside that we get to see and read really well, I think it's slowly more and more just becoming strictly all leaves, and all the evergreens will be patched. There's still big volumes of them, and I have a good feeling that that's what those guys' work is on that in particular mountain, because I believe they've already been doing that. So watch for those kind of things. I'm not necessarily saying you have to say, oh yeah, Ian's right with that thing, he's right with that thing. It's not about that. It's about the studying. It's about trying to get your own portfolio of facts going on. The more people that put up a video that found some wicked clawing that is in a tree and a whatever, and a piece of wood and stuff like that, and they're not really sure where that came from, and it's sharp, really razor sharp, and there's different lengths to it. But most of all, if there's a coving that you can ever find, in the tiniest, I can find them in the tiniest of pieces of wood, where they're representing the ones where the biggest coves. Actually, no, I remember videotaping it on the island. I don't know if I did get a sample piece. I might have a sample piece. I don't know. I don't have the wide sample piece, I think. But I'll describe it anyways, just in case. So there's this piece of wood like this. And there is a slice out of it like this, with that similar shape of a cove, like that, and probably about that width. And I might have a piece of that, but I at least have it on video, I know, up on that. And I do have some other pieces from in that general area where I got some smaller pieces, and that's in my little cache box where I got it's buried in here, or else I'd be turning around and using that. I don't even know where it is, to tell you the truth, but it's in the car somewhere. But you know what? I'm going to try to pull that out because I got skull in there. A couple of skulls. I got a couple of different, I got a number of things where I'll show you that I believe they've been breaking things. But it really is too kind of difficult to get at right now. I already started to poke myself there, so I'm stopping. But, so back to that point then, that a clawing with coving in it. And if you don't understand coving, just understand, when we look up and we think that millwork of, around the ceiling there, what do we call that, whatever. Anyways, that's kind of like a cove. You're looking at shapes and stuff. And so what we're doing, we're referring to, well, if there's two pieces of wood, like you pick up both pieces of the wood, you're going to have it the outside coved and then the inside coved of it, right? And that's what I have. I got a number of pieces of wood that just in angles like this and such. And like I said, I've seen it as very, very tiny. Like, probably where we get pretty close to the tip of my knife here, tiny of coves. Yeah, right to the tip. Or I say if this was that shape of a cove and I could just go and do it ever so slightly like that, I have got that cove. That is also really refined like it's a cut. And then, like I say, I've seen it as big as that piece there. So what was that went? And that's what it looks like. If I remember right, that piece doesn't look like it was a and taking out a couple of chunks. Because there's a smoothness. I might be a little bit wrong on that, but I know that's the feeling. I'm kind of being brought back to that spot, and I haven't come across that harsh stuff. Hey, Brown, how's it going, brother? And, so, yeah. So I got some work cut out for me in the next week here, Brown. Some really good work. Josh is putting me up to it, so I'm really happy. I'm very happy, man. So, how are you, Josh? How are you, Brown? And how is Greg doing? Josh, if you're still out there, Muddy, praise him forever, 777. He didn't stick around. I wonder if he believes in Bigfoot. He did have a good thought there that he got me onto, though, so I was happy to mention his name. He got me onto the gunshots. Has anybody ever thought of, or more, been in a spot where you understand, or you're hearing something that was a gunshot, like, and there was peculiarness to it, and maybe you could kind of almost blame Bigfoot? If the thought of almost blaming Bigfoot comes into your mind, then just toy with it. Like, I have my few that I say are my real concentrated 100%, where I know I could have, if it was an okay thing and we could have went up and shook each other's hand, then it could have happened. I know I got the one where it's just in a vocal sense. Somehow, sorry about that, but our mustache hairs and stuff sometimes all of a sudden just giving us a poker. Anyways, my vocalization one, in that sense, we talked enough where I know I could have went over there unless he was invisible somehow, which I would doubt, or I do doubt. Same thing. Could have walked over there if I was invited to and shake his hand. So I have those cases. And then I have a whole bunch of more that, because we really didn't get into a full eye conversation, seeing conversation. We didn't fully get into any kind of a verbal conversation or anything like that. Not those level of an interaction where they ended up giving me enough information to know that they were legitimately there. But in my feeling of things, in my, not my feeling, but my been around and kind of just look around, okay, and know where I've been and stuff, I'd say I probably could have focused into the hundreds of them. I believe that I could have already at this point have seen into the hundreds, more than 100 into the hundreds. That's what I kind of believe. And I mean, I'm not trying to put it out there like a silly, look where I'm standing or anything like that. Please do not take me that way. I'm just trying to say that's how serious this man is. And then all you guys are as serious as you, right? Just like you passionately say to your mom when you're talking, no, Mom, I heard the thing, like I really did. You know, I'm just kind of saying the same thing to my subbers that get me, believe me, and want to keep enjoying the ride because they think they know or get the feeling they're not being bamboozled. I'm not fooling you guys. These guys, and I've been telling you guys, these guys are trying to fool me, but you know, because I'm that honest and not fooling you guys. I'm being a little bit dishonest to them lots of times, and I'm trying to fool them. So I do know how to fool. Fooling may be keeping me alive. You know, there's a thing there. Fooling is dangerous. It's a very dangerous art. Because just say I take it a little too far on my fooling, how I'm trying to act this innocent of a guy here around them. And then within that culture understanding that I'm trying to pass off, I do something explicitly kind of ignorant. You know. And then it's not my natural flow. You know, because you got to make sure you're doing the natural flow, I think. Unless you're an asshole. If you're an asshole and you really think you're naturally an asshole, something growls at you, I don't think you should be going, hey, and trying to quite try that technique and see if it works very well. But don't go like this and be standing there and be that flabbergasted. It's like if a bear's coming out, you turn and you start, you know, if a bear's running at you like this, and you know in your mind, if I turn and run, he's just going to jump on my back. You have to make another choice. And you feel like I'd be able to do that with a bear. Well, then you're going to have to start talking to your mind and get yourself to be able to do that with these guys too. That's one of the things, eh? These guys too. I'm not trying to pound it out, I'm just talking. Every chance I get down by the Mississippi. Oh, I had pushed myself way back up there, clowning around. Man, he was here listening. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Night, guys. Night, Michelle. Thank you, man. You're probably already long gone. We gotta hook up. And Greg's at 11:10. Where? Greg's. Okay. I'm good, brother. Great job. Interview tomorrow. Nice. Life is good. That's good for you. Muddy saying glad to finally catch up. Right on. I'm glad you're here. Right on. I'm glad you're here. And if I'm not subbed to any of you guys, remind me to sub. Because, you know, I am behind on a little bit of it, right? 11:11. Are you saying it's almost 11:20? There's my key. So I still got 11:15. So I still got a few people around. So let's hang. I'll keep hanging around if the crew wants to hang around. I think I'm just going to pull forward though too. I climbed cell towers. Sweet, man. Injured my shoulder. That ain't good. I'm finally well enough to get back into the work again. Thank the Lord. Right on. Good for you. And Michelle, remember, I don't know if you remember or whatever type thing, but my advice, because, you know, I come from one of those guys who, up until I was 30, I was pretty disciplined on working out through that 10-year span there, the 20 to 30. And one thing I noticed was there was a lot of guys that got shoulder injuries. And I believe we're men and people, well, maybe not women to men, But men, for whatever reason, so in this military, which you should know that well, the military press, when we're bringing it behind our neck, when you're out of shape, we can't even frickin' bring our arms near there. We feel like we're going to pop out of there. I, worked out with a lot of guys and spotted and all that kind of stuff, and know lots of guys that were doing military presses from behind, doing excessive weights and all that kind of stuff. And next thing you know, I've done my shoulder. I know a couple of times I tweaked a shoulder or whatever type thing, and I totally shied away from that stuff and totally it's not like I wasn't into doing presses and stuff like that, but that in particular press, so if that's a favorite for a certain... Well, yeah, the reason I'm saying that to you is, even in that range of doing your towers and you have to get into a certain hold or whatever, be really careful on that press, because that's that extension through there. So say you're having to hang out on something a little bit and you're like that, that's, long ways around it, but that would be a sweet job, though. Rob is saying, I'm good. Got some more snow yesterday. Rob 802, the toy collector yesterday. More to come next week. Oh, really? Well, I hope we keep staying away from the snow. Local taxi. I was hoping for spring weather. Yeah, I hear you. We got pretty good... Hello, Hills. Good morning to you. I just listened to where you are. Stays. Just came home. Just came home or just got up? Hey, Jay, how's it going, brother? What are you doing up so late? Don't you work early? I'm going to do a pull-up here. So, guys, see Jay right here? Jay Robberger? Or Robberg? He is the chap that you guys should all sub to. He might start eventually making videos or something. I'm not too sure. But he is the chap that came out and hung out with me the other day. And like I told people then, he wasn't so into coming out based on my first face-to-face, seeing that I was legit that way. He was more coming out with the interest of, the other stuff that I talk about. And I didn't find that out until he was here. So to me, it made me feel really good that he really comes out based on some of my theories on what's coming out of my mouth. And footage, obviously, because I'm showing a lot when I'm talking. But he didn't come here based on, I seen your first Sasquatch or your baboon-headed Sasquatch. Nothing like that. So I was really thankful for that. And he's turned around and he said some pretty nice comments in such a way where that's kind of what I look forward to, is more people really getting that much more comfortable. Like one of his comments, he said, and I'm not trying to say, hey, look at me. I'm trying to say, hey, listen to this. And obviously, my channel will build and I'll get rewarded and stuff. You're a night owl, eh, Rob? And so, dig him. See what he has to say. You know what I say, guys, is I say the people who have been coming on tonight and stuff, a lot of them are a pretty good bunch. We are a pretty good bunch. And, I think we should try to, on my channel anyways, try to carry on a little bit of a conversation a little bit. And, my few, people who ask, what can I do for you, Tin Man? I can help you in some way. There's been a lot of people who've asked that kind of stuff. And that's what I even said to Jay. I said to Jay, I don't know if he's going to do it or anything. And I said, no pressure. It doesn't have to happen, but it is my idea right now. And I said, do a video that's kind of almost directed to YouTube to wake up and share Tin Man's stuff properly, because you have a feeling that he's onto something. This kind of That, or he's come on here a bunch of times supporting me and saying comments that are good like that anyways, and he has from since he got hooked on with the channel, and that's helpful anyways if people are reading stuff. But you know, it depends if people, I do a lot of, I pointed this out before, where I do a number of comments directing people on my channel to, you know, observe this, and you hardly ever get a thumbs up on it, so you wonder if people are not into thumbs up, if, you know, if they're reading your stuff, right? So, although I like putting comments on there actually for my own research, for going back and looking at the stuff and so on and so forth, right? So, you just got in from work, Jay. Ah. Okay, so you do a kind of a little bit of you do the afternoon shift. You seem to get the face-to-face stuff everywhere you're on YouTube and interview with experienced people, but you have a sort of dialogue type show, reacting to and stimulating comments. Right on. So that's Jay saying, you seem to get the face-to-face stuff everywhere on YouTube and the interviews with experienced people, but you have a sort of dialogue type show, reacting and stimulating comments. Right on. Tin Man. This is Rob. Tin Man, do you practice mindfulness? Give me a definition of your mindfulness. Hey Betty, how's it going? I learn a lot from your comments, Ian. Thank you very much, Betty. Held, we all can see Bigfoot. If not in person, there are always enough people who chase images. Digs down under. Right on. How's it going? You're back. G-Day. Good day, Tin Man. That's right. And all good folk. Good day back to you. Bit late, picked up the kids from school. Yeah. My kids, well, I only got one in school, and he's sleeping right now, I'm sure. I drove him to work tonight, though. He's got himself a really awesome job. I'm really proud of him. He's just about to turn 17 here in a couple of months. And yeah, in a local construction material company. He's got himself a job indoors, you know, where he gets to stay clean and wear a nice vest. And if anybody knows the company, it's called Rona. And they turn around and hooked up with another local company that was the Fraser Valley Building Supplies. And yeah, my boy got in there without me even going in there and saying, hey, remember me? I used to work out of there a lot. Mindful, oh, okay, I got you. Mindful meditation. Yes. Where did that come from? Yeah, I do mindful meditation, I guess. But you're probably talking about, are you talking about real meditating then? What helps you with your ongoing OCD? I gotcha. I always think that I'm just lost because I'm not supposed to be a redhead. I wasn't supposed to be a redhead. I was supposed to be a blonde. Yeah, okay. Nice. And you like that, eh? Hello, Bigfoot Rick. How's it going? Anthropologist. How are you doing? Shut down this now. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. I was redhead too. Yeah. Well, you still must be. Like, I think if you're a redhead, you kind of hold it for life, I guess. You know. Can't help it if well, I went bald, but I still, if you actually look at my hair and it's tight together and stuff, It actually, I think, is red, so I'm still good as redhead, and my downstairs is still red, so I'm okay with that. Sorry, ladies or whatever, I shouldn't have said that. Sometimes you throw stuff out. Great. I'm a redhead. Oh, right on, man. And the only one in the family, you know what? Well, my dad was a redhead, and he really, I don't know what he's probably legitimate, always been a redhead, but a lot of it, his hair did look brown at times. But as a young guy, I think he was a pretty opie redhead, and I was. But I know as I was older and stuff, lots of times my mom would call me the strawberry blonde and stuff because my hair was really fine, the color would just suck right out of it. Yeah. None of these soft names like the ginger stuff, eh? Diggs is getting a good laugh out of the conversation. I was blonde too until I turned 10. Then my hair got dark brown. Oh yeah, eh? Yeah, I hear ya. Good times, good times. So, is anybody else gonna do a live now? So then I'll come over to their channel. Huh? Yes. Yes, I do, Hild. I can't read that comment out loud, though. That was funny. Great gesture, Josh. Oh, I see. You're quite the gentleman. Oh yeah, which was it, the first face-to-face? I'm glad you checked it out. I'm pretty sure that's the one I put you on to. That's kind of my first. Like, if you realize that was day 13, pretty much, My day, if my days are off a day here or there or something like that, in those first few days, then, stuff happens. But I'm pretty sure that was day 13. The next one was day 15. And the third one was day 19. And yeah, that's how the life goes. And I think things are going to really start looking up. Like, I need my channel to grow a little bit. Like, yeah, I need it to grow. I need it to start turning into something. I need to somehow work to a spot where I have myself an assistant, somebody who can help me out video-wise, and, start really turning it into something. So here we can go. I basically have, the other day, made the full awareness kind of decision that YouTube is my job now. It's my way that I'm going to figure out how to do it. I made a 2-year commitment once I had my first face-to-face and a few other things went on. I made a two-year commitment to gather information and do, live as harsh as I had to be able to not live as harsh as I had to, but do as best as I could to get information out. And so I'm coming up to my 2 years, really kind of September. I could, say maybe it's a little bit, more into November, December or something like that, or I couldn't go as far as January, but the last 3 months of the year anyways. And just wondering if this guy's going to shut off his lights. You guys see him? Which state? I'm in Louisiana. I'm up in British Columbia. I'm above Washington. I'm above Seattle. I'm kind of near Bellingham. Much can be different in the fall, I hear you. Yeah, I know. I guess I'm really only at my 1.5 years, aren't I? So I'm only at my 1.5 years. I still have 6 months or whatever. Actually, more, it's like 9 months, is it? I should really figure out when I made my 2-year commitment so I kind of make sure I'm on a proper pattern there. Yeah, you're going to check it out on the Google Earth or something? Yeah, I'm in Mission, British Columbia. Big trees out here. Pretty excited. So Josh has put me back out on the road here, guys. And I'm going to come up, I don't know if I'll be around to upload anything just exciting tomorrow or the next day or whatever type thing. But, yeah. Now I'm really excited here. I'm just not showing it. You got to hit the hay right on, Greg. Thanks for hanging out, man. It's 1:30 a.m. Yeah, I guess so. You got to hit that phone. The phone might be ringing off the hook tomorrow. Well, yeah, you go for your interview. The best of luck tomorrow, man. All the best. You want to go camping on the weekend? Right on. Do you want me to come out there and show you where to go camping? Catch you later, Greg. Thank you. Peace out, bro. Yeah? Are you going to go camping to that spot there then? Where that big log is and such? That pull off? You want me? That is a spot. Like, that's a hard thing to decide, Jay. I gotta be honest. I haven't decided on that stuff yet. So Jay is basically saying to me he wants me to show him a spot. And he himself described a spot to me where he is at. And I had previously already been there. I've actually crashed there, slept there a number of times, camped out there a number of times, and will again. Unless Jay doesn't want me to. But anyways, so it's not like you're necessarily full out feeling like you're inside a habitat, or you feel you're in a habitat, but you don't necessarily fully feel like you're maybe around one of their jungle gym type structure kind of things. And so maybe you're just, it was really good. Maybe you're just kind of lacking on excitement with that kind of a thing, but there are guys right there. Another thing I didn't really say to you either, Jay, but just look, the creek right there, how the creek kind of runs through there, just right on this side too. It's a great little spot, like just on the pavement right there. just right there where that creek water goes under the road and ends up on that side. Just look all in there and stuff, and kind of just start figuring out a plan, for there. Because I do, I have my, like my super hot actual walking into a habitat kind of stuff. I really haven't started thinking yet if, I even kind of stopped doing that with my kids. So that's why I said, well, why don't I come out to your part of town there? Come out to Coquitlam. Stuff in your own backyard and stuff. And that way it's, you just figure out your own backyard. Then you have all your easy stuff. And then if you really see something super hot and you want to be really disciplined on it, then you have the ease of access because it's close to home, which you will see hot stuff, I'm telling you right now. And then have, driving further out stuff for a different kind of an entertainment of going out and exploring and stuff. So that's what I really do think, Jay, is we should hook up out in your area there and we'll find a habitat there. We'll spend a couple of hours and I'll find you, guaranteed, we'll find you a habitat. Guaranteed probably in the 2 hours. But guaranteed I'll give you a hand finding what fully you can feel to be a habitat. That there's living in there. I'll show you more. You're already starting to connect into it a lot, and I'll show you more when we're on site and we're actually together. It would be quite a bit different. I just have to make sure that I kind of, just like we were talking there, where I just want to kind of go into my focus and stuff and kind of do our thing and figure out our routine, how we're going to go in there and approach them and stuff like that. And so we got, I'm taking off. Good night, Tin Man. Yeah, that's cool. Great spot. Cool. I do Burke. You do Burke. So you have started feeling you too now. Ha ha ha. Hild, what are you trying to say? Sounds good. I'll buy gas and grub, no problem. Okay. What's the hills? What are the mountains around your area there? Even Burnaby Mountain. Even they're going to be around Deer Lake. I remember walking in around Deer Lake, I think. Was I curious for them at that time? No. Well, you all, I think I'm going to be taking off. Have a good night. Thanks for coming out, everybody. See you later, Burke MT. I don't get it. Yeah, those places are easily reached. You're welcome, Digga. See you later, Jay. Thanks for coming in, Hild. Rob. Sorry, I write like I speak. Good night. That's okay, Hild. Anytime. When you do your other ones where you're writing on my on the videos and stuff, I figure it all out, I think. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for the thumbs up. I really appreciate all the support. Josh is the man. Everybody go and sign up with him. Good night, Rick. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Is that one working out for you pretty good there? Are you working on it still? Nice way to top off the night. Right on, Jay. Let me know anyways, Rick. Yeah, right on. Peace out, everyone. You too, Betty.